Welcome back to Easy Spirit 101. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let's get into a Divine Collective reading. What does Divine Collective need to know at this time? If I can shuffle my cards, we will get into a reading. Okay, so the reading I was just in the middle of before I started this particular reading was talking about what I just saw, that somebody has overcome some sort of lesson and you're attracting a new soulmate or something to that extent. I don't know why for someone specific, this person here, maybe say you're younger, you're a divine masculine, this person coming towards you is a feminine energy, something about just kind of a heads up. This person's like dad or whoever, older male person that watches over this person is very, very kind of like strict and conservative. Is coming through for someone to know about or be aware of. Maybe that's part of why you needed to grow into the person you've become or learn so many harsh lessons, because you can't mess around with this particular feminine. Because they are highly protected. Whatever direction you're going in, you should definitely keep going. It will bring wish come true. You will have your Nine of Cups with some sort of prospect that you've been working towards. You may have been for a bit of time uncertain about this with the Seven of Wands energy, feeling like maybe you had to fight for something that you thought would come easier than it did. I think it's really because you were being guided to do something a different way or look at something a different way or incorporate another aspect of who you are with what you were doing for work. And here we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is what you've been working towards. I really feel like I'm talking to a divine masculine. Yeah, whoever you are, you've been like purging and trying different things. You've been transforming from the inside out, especially when it comes to matters of your faith. Mostly because you feel like things you were doing in the past were not serving you well, not working, not getting you in the direction that you wanted to be in. Some of you feel like you've been working really hard and not making a lot of progress. And part of what this was, whether you realize it or not, manifesting from the inside out. I could be talking to a King of Wands. You could be a fire sign or have a strong fire sign placement with Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And this is the Six of Swords in reverse. It says storm brewing, but I'm not really getting that for your particular situation. It's reiterating what we just said. Someone here feels like they were working really hard and not making any progress. But Six of Swords in reverse is failing to learn and grow from something specifically. But again, whoever you are, you feel like at this point you have been learning from your mistakes. You have like learned from the error in your own ways, taking accountability, trying new things. You understand that something is up to you. And the more that you focus on, or this purge, I'm really getting strong cleansing and purging energy from someone here. You've been working really hard at this, and you do have good news coming towards you because of the work that you've done. You've been trying things different when it comes to your faith because you feel like you've had a lot of battles in your life. You feel like you've battled a lot in your life and they didn't It didn't pay off. Someone here feels like the battles they've been fighting in their life have not paid off or served them well. Someone here, you might be guided over time, or maybe you already recently have had kind of a divine inspiration that maybe you should switch course when it comes to your career, maybe towards self-employment, but you don't know how to go about doing this. This is all about asking in prayer, asking for divine inspiration, places to start, hands to shake, to sit in meditation. Yeah, clear your mind, sit in meditation. We've been picking up a lot of air signs today, so Gemini is important, or maybe some of you have Gemini North Node. I know I do get a lot of Geminis attracted to this particular channel, so hey Geminis. I don't know why I'm not a Gemini, but that's fine. Right, here's more Gemini with think it through, coming out sideways. So maybe you feel like you've been getting signs and confirmations pointing you towards coming out of maybe like I don't know how to say it, for lack of a better word, corporate industry. Whether you were corporate or not, maybe you were working for a larger institution and you feel like you've been guided towards self-employment and don't know where to start. This is just telling you, your recommendation is to take your time, move slowly, ask us to help you in this situation. Get quiet, get your notebooks, ask for guidance, write down things that come to you. Take it as baby steps, one thing at a time. Yeah, law of attraction in reverse. Most importantly, this coming out over clear your mind. I'll just put that right back there. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. The more you overthink it and the more you worry about it, the more it gets a wonky energy and you end up psyching yourself out. So just go slow. Take your time. You don't need to quit this or quit that or anything like that just because you got some sort of divine inspiration. It just means it's something to start looking at, something to start redirecting your energy or realigning your schedule to make room for even just brainstorming. You know, if you just got a divine inspiration, you're in a brainstorming stage. No need to move quickly. Something that maybe once upon a time seemed like it was going to block you or stop you or create problems in your life, even if you don't realize this currently, or maybe some of you recently have realized this, that it is actually a divine detour. Something that you went through was to help push you or give you some sort of growing room, some sort of safe space to grow this or to start moving in that direction. Believe in your good luck. So your belief is very important moving forward, because for some of you, you recently, here we have Death card out here again, you recently went through some sort of major transition or change or major rebirth, whether it was within you or within your actual life. That something here feels very new and kind of like shaky ground. Thinking a baby who's taking its first steps, very wobbly. This is where you're at. It's okay to know and accept that that's where you're at currently. This is what we're talking about here. Let your fears dissolve. The most important thing moving forward with this is not to let your mind get away with itself and start psyching yourself out, because then you'll just like crawl back up in your shell. And Eight of Swords here, get into an energy of negative thoughts or self-doubt. This being in reverse is actually a good thing. Mental strength, releasing limiting beliefs. Once upon a time, for some of you, especially coming underneath this Ten of Pentacles, you might literally be breaking a generational energy if you're able to go through this and succeed at this. This could be very unheard of for individuals in your family, probably because of this here, this Eight of Swords in the upright next to fear, many people do get psyched out to even like take baby steps towards something. The most important thing that you need to know, whatever you're going towards here, is part of your life purpose. But the most important thing you need to know when it comes to this kind of energy is to not panic over how fast you get it done. Be okay taking the baby steps and allowing it to blossom as long as it takes to blossom. That's something very important, is to let go of the time and the timelines. You may be in a place right now. A lot of times when I get called to this particular deck, someone literally is asking, should I do this? Because you just got this divine inspiration and it feels very scary. I immediately open to that. So there's that. Over time, as you let your fears dissolve, your intuition is going to be more clear on something. Whatever's meant for you will kind of start to just take over. And you need to know that if this is something that, like, this is part of someone's north node, you are protected. You're very much protected when you are on the right track and pursuing something that has to do, excuse me, with your destiny or your north node energy. Right, this is kind of what we're talking about. So someone here might feel really overwhelmed by this, like, oh, I need to quit my job and run in and do this and that all right now. And this is why this is here. This is what we were saying about like these baby steps. Take time, go slow. You don't need to rush something. Someone here feels like if this is divine, some sort of calling or divine inspiration, or suddenly I feel an aha moment and I want this change and transformation in my life, to do something instantly, and you're kind of being asked to, again, take it very slow. Just start brainstorming, wrapping your mind around it. Be okay with, like, this is a change that occurs over several years, is kind of what this is reiterating here. Part of what's going on specifically for some of you, or some of you specific, is that this rushing energy, or this, it's creating actually panic. You're sending kind of an energy or a wave of panic out into, you know, when you move forward on this, you're manifesting, whether it's intentional or unintentional, whether you want to put a label on it or not. Everything we're doing in every moment is manifesting something in our life, whether it's putting more energy into something we've already been doing or creating something new. But the universe reads all the energy, so don't put the panic into the thing, the new thing that you're manifesting, is basically what's coming out. I've seen Cancer quite a bit, as well as Gemini. So Gemini could be important in this reading, as well as Cancer. You could be someone who has both those signs prominently in your chart, or I could be talking to either or. Gemini out here again. What's up with the old Gemini? 1414 on the clock. Interesting. Yeah, this is part of where this panic comes from. It says using the quickest way. You really want to. Someone here's got this divine inspiration, and you want your engines are revving, but you're kind of being asked to. It's not going to happen as fast as you think. So slow down and be very practical. Kind of channel your inner, you know, earth sign energy, your grounding energy, and just pace yourself. Pace yourself. Fire sign's been coming out a bit today, again, you could be specifically a Leo, or you're just meant to have like a leadership position, which again, even if this is specifically like own your own business or something, you would be a leader in that capacity. Grow and expand, Jupiter. So you're in a growing phase of what this is, of even, again, some of you recently just got confirmation. Maybe you'd already had the divine inspiration, but now you've gone past and has received like multiple confirmations. You know this is the right direction to go into, confirmation, but again, you're being asked to not move too fast with something. Yeah, especially because, again, there's that energy of this is rocky ground for you. So be okay taking baby steps. Just kind of take it easy. Take it easy. Go slow into it. You don't need to run. Matter of fact, divine guidance in a situation like this would be to not run, because then you are sending out signals of like panic or hurry. What's the hurry? And then you often miss things along the way, a different way of looking at something. So this is definitely some guidance here for those of you who feel like this is what's going on in your situation, or this is something you have felt called to do. Yeah, someone here is like a Gemini, and you naturally want to look at the quickest way to get from point A to point B, and you're being asked to not do this in this particular situation, in this particular time. You are being asked to stay positive about it, but you're also being asked to slow down and not, yeah, that would be a gamble, to run or rush towards something. Run or rush towards something like this would be a gamble. Some of you don't even have like an idea or the idea of what it is that you're meant to be building at this time, and you want to run into it. That's like coming through as a red flag for someone. Definitely want to slow down and get more guidance, more, feel very firm in what you're starting at, and then just take baby steps. And yes, there are people all the time who, they get these ideas and this thing is going to eventually make them a millionaire or a very successful businessman or whatever. And I did it right away and I made my first blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, I was a millionaire in a year. I mean, that is for somebody, but really this particular reading, this energy is not, it's not that. It's not, that's not what's going on here. Especially if you're someone who's co-creating with God. You're very spiritual. You're in prayer a lot. You're asking for guidance over your life. A lot of times, I mean, God can give you that magical wink and then something miraculously changes for you. But a lot of times, God will actually move you slow through a process as well. Because when he makes things really good. Right, release control in this situation. That's further confirmation of like not rushing in, because rushing in would be very much you taking over the reins and doing things the way you mostly know to do them. Someone here is definitely like a Gemini in your sun sign Gemini or sun sign Leo. Confirmation. Yeah, sun sign, for some of you specifically, it's coming through like some of you also are a bit too focused on what you can get out of it when that's not what you're being guided to do to grow this. The heart in it and the desire for it, and maybe even, for instance, whether you were like humanitarian or some sort of service aspect of it, the love what you're doing is more important in the growth and expansion of this, rather than focusing on like the financial aspect or your big dream of how much money or something like this. I know, what a damper. I don't attract people to my particular readings. Yeah, when it see, second house, what you want, right? But they're asking you to be patient. So this would be something very different. You're doing something differently than maybe you're like wanting to, or maybe the way you've done something in the past. Again, looking at something a different way than you normally do, because someone here in the process, this major change is meant to grow you. The spirit wants to grow you into this leader, even through applying pressure. So taking the time and taking adversity and things that you are meant to grow from is going to help you stand in your power, because by the time you're very, very powerful and you are fully standing in your power, specifically you Geminis, it's going to be out of this world. Something here for someone is going to be out of this world. So you're being asked to do something differently, and relax into the mystery of how this could and would pan out. Again, all these cards out here were reiterating to slow down with something, with this, or even with your energy. You keep saying grace, and again, having grace is like slow and steady movements rather than running. You know, if you think of grace, you could think of like a beautiful woman in a gown, right? And how often do you see her in her gown, like like running? No, she's walking slow, and she's allowing her gown to kind of go with the flow, and everyone can see the grace and the beauty. I hope y'all are understanding the point I'm trying to make. Okay, what else does the Divine Collective need to know about this reading? Yeah, that's funny here. It says grounding. This card is about grounding. And it also says develop your ideas. So further confirmation, slow down, get into that. Go back to step one. Someone here maybe just like even in your mind or your thought process or your planning, your actions have jumped all the way to like step 5. And whoever you are, you're being asked to, this is something that started with you co-creating with your spirit team. They're asking you to continue to do that, continue to follow our lead for the win. So Akashic Records is important in your situation. And again, going back to personal power, you're going to learn something about yourself along the way of this, which is why you need to slow down. Because if you're moving too fast, you're not going to see it. And then you may get something here that you're hoping to achieve, but it's not going to have the longevity that is meant for you in this situation. Some of you could literally be, I mean, if you're aware of this kind of information, maybe it's something that comes out a lot for you in like personal readings. Some of you may be clairvoyant for one, but also connected to Egyptian bloodline. Someone here, you're also being guided to keep things more information to yourself, or when you're working on this actually. especially, I can tell you that from personal experience, especially who and what is coming in and out of your life at this time. You can have what I like to call like dream squashers, or it can even be someone here who has they're secretly like envious or anything like that, can ruin, can destroy, can delay your plans just from knowing them. Just from knowing them. So, whoever you are, while you're building this, you are being very much guided to keep things to yourself. I watch a channel on Instagram or something about people who build businesses and things, and they offer business tips and how they got there, all this kind of stuff. Very useful. Just information. Anyone who's like smart and savvy, that's just good information for you. And I've definitely heard one or more of them being like, do not tell freaking anything to anyone about what you're doing. And if you have a hater in your circle, you need to get them way out of your circle, because they will stop, block, poo on everything to do with your progress and seeing you, especially for those who struggle with the spirit of jealousy, and it's taken a new form. You know, those people, certain people who struggle with that can be so overcome with that they're seeing things differently, and they're not even making any kind of progress over that kind of energy or the jealousy in their own life by taking their own reins and just going after what it is that they want. That is some of the most dangerous kind of people to have around if you are trying to like build a business or something. Confirmation what I'm talking about. Be mindful of your relationships. Keep this to yourself while you're building something new. Pay attention to the signs. This is something, whatever you're doing here is meant to be justice for you. Confirmation again on that death and rebirth energy. And this is confirmation on what I said earlier, excuse me, about channeling your grounding energy going through this here, but also continue to have confidence in what you're doing, what you're growing, what you're building. But remember to slow down. It literally says like this here, this grounding, realistic Capricorn energy next to your creation. Have confidence in what you're doing, and don't forget to keep it quiet, but don't forget to move, like slow down a bit. That's the main message coming through for whoever this reading is for. Good luck to you, of course. I hope you guys got confirmation, clarity, or you just enjoyed the reading. I will see you again next time.